All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of fantasy football action right here on the Touchdown Talk. My name is Chris Vaglio, and I am joined by, as always, my amazing co-host, Mr. Pablo Martinez. Pablo, how the hell are you on this Saturday morning, week 3 NFL fantasy football action? How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Radio Garden State, all of our listeners out there. Happy Saturday, September 20th. Week 3 of the NFL is here, and I'm doing excellent, man. I'm doing great. Super excited to go over some great matchups today, great updates. We got tons of injury to talk about and quarterback changes that we are all quite concerned about. So, yeah, happy to be here today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I am glad that to be here again, and we've got a lot going on. I mean, here we are, week 3, already a ton of suspense, storylines, all kinds of stuff going on. Many fantasy teams already in an 0-2 position, some with the 1-1, some 2-0. So I mean, we're already going here, man. This is in full swing here on fantasy football action, and we've got a lot of stuff broken down. So let's get into it, because as we do, we're gonna dive in with what's going on in the world of fantasy, NFL players, sleeper picks, who you should be starting defense, start, sit, all that. Again, throw your questions in the chat too if you're watching live. Right now, we are live, streaming live, the video version, over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And of course, you can listen to us over at RadioGardenState.com, the Odyssey app, TuneIn app, or any Alexa device. Just ask it to play Radio Garden State. So let's dive in, Pablo. We started talking about, actually, a little bit off air. We got some really key injuries happening, which also then spells trouble for many fantasy owners. So let's go into who is kind of out of play, not showing up this weekend. What do you got?
Yeah. So we have three big ones for this week. We had a Joe Burrow injury that was quite devastating last week. Unfortunately, Burrow was confirmed to need surgery for some pretty severe turf toe. He will be out at least 3 months, possibly out the entire rest of this NFL season.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a killer. It's a killer. Week 2, early in the season. It's not what we want to see out of a great quarterback like Burrow. But Jake Browning stepping in once again, like he's done in the past, because this is
mm-hmm.
not new with Burrow, unfortunately. And he had some success in a couple years ago. I think it was the
Yeah.
2023 season.
Yeah, he
He
stepped
had
in. He actually looked pretty good.
yeah, he had some success. So not all faith is lost in those fantasy weapons like Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, T. Higgins. You know, there is still a very, very viable option behind Bro, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely not.
we're also hearing over the past few days that we won't be having Justin Fields starts for the Jets.
And we did talk a little bit about that last week on the show, and Josh was a little poo-pooing that, but turns out to be a real thing.
Yeah. Justin Fields will be out for the Jets. We have Tyrod Taylor stepping in New York. I forget if he's actually playing in New York, but he's under center there for the New York Jets. So
Yep.
Tyrod will be taking over there. Other big quarterback changes. Jaden Daniels also confirmed out this week. Our resident Commanders
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
fan
meant to say that's what I meant. Jaden Daniels. That's what he was poo-pooing last week.
today. Yeah, Josh is not here today, but we got confirmation that Marcus Mariota will be starting for the Washington Commanders. Not exactly the same as having Jaden Daniels out there, but
Nope.
still an experienced quarterback that may be able to step in. Hopefully, he will, and provide some solid support for the Terry
Yep.
McLaurin, as well as Debo Samuel and the rookie running back Bill, who has
Bill.
taken over, running back duties for the Commanders. Um, the one last big quarterback update that we wanted to bring up that was related to injury was J.J. McCarthy, also
Right.
out this week. And in his place in Minnesota, we will be seeing Carson Wentz get back
Carson
on the
Wentz
NFL
making a
field.
making a
Yes,
comeback.
yes, he is. Yes, he is. So those are the big ones. Those are the big ones for this week. There were other injuries here and there. We talked about Bill, so obviously Eckler is out as well. Aaron Jones out at running back for Minnesota. Some of these teams got hit pretty hard, but there's tons to talk about this week. I don't know if you had anyone else on your radar, Chris, that you wanted to mention or bring up.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously with injuries, becomes some opportunities here from a fantasy standpoint, right? So if you had any of these guys starting and you didn't have their backups, and maybe you're in a super flex league, like our two leagues that we're in, the LOEMP league and the Dirt League, we're two super flex leagues, and so everybody's rolling with two quarterbacks. But maybe you only had two quarterbacks on your roster, and now one of these guys is down. Let's start this off with who would be good pickups here, good sleeper picks potentially. Marcus Mariota, you just mentioned him, is a good start, and they're starting against the Raiders. So I think that is a good viable pickup if he's available in leagues. Maybe you might have to make a trade if someone has him as a bench stash. There's that. Some guys are rolling with maybe four quarterbacks, and he might be somebody just sitting on someone's bench. So it could be a time to make a little trade to get him if you're down a quarterback, or maybe you can get through this week. But something to look at for sure. But I mean, what do you think about that, Pablo? You think Marcus Mariota is a good pickup this week if that's something you got a hold of, Phil?
I think so. I actually, of those quarterbacks that we just talked about, I think Mariota, we didn't even mention Mac Jones. Mac Jones stepped in the week before. That's why we didn't
You're
bring him up
right.
now.
Yes, you're right. Mac
But that's
Jones.
another unexpected start here. With regards to Mariota, he's playing at home against Las Vegas. I like it as an option. I like it maybe a little more than some of the other
Yeah.
quarterback changes that we were just talking about. Maybe Jake Browning is the guy that excites me the most, only because he has so many great elite
Yeah.
weapons.
I mean, and as a Jamar Chase owner, on both teams that I manage, I'm at least like, okay, he can get them the ball. Like he can get them the ball and they'll make a play. And I love that because, like I said, I got Jamar Chase on both. So now I don't feel like my entire season's a wash with like my number one pick and my keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I wouldn't go crazy about starting Wentz, but I do like him as an option to be able to support the other pieces that are in play with
Right.
Minnesota, like Justin Jefferson. Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Mason also set up to have a great few weeks with Aaron Jones on the shelf now in IR. He
Yeah.
stepped in. Jordan Mason did well. So I think that having Carson Wentz on the field doesn't necessarily mean that you can't play Mason. I think actually it might maybe lean on him a little bit extra because Wentz has not had the opportunity to play so often with this first line of team. So those I think would be the main guys. Like you mentioned, Mariota and Browning. I think would be the two top priorities if I had the chance to pick them up.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you too, especially if you needed somebody. Which is key because I mean, with these guys down, like you may have that hole to fill, and why not? Especially with Browning. I mean, that to me is a no brainer for sure. Absolutely. So we do have a question coming in. Ryan is coming in with a question for us. It looks like this is a trade question. Standard league trade. McMillan for Dobbins and Parasol. He goes, I have Henry, Brown, Mason, Henderson, looking to improve my wide receiver room, which is currently Sutton, Ibuka, Ridley, Allen, and Parasol.
All right. Well, good morning, Ryan. Thanks you for the question. And that actually is a great key piece to bring up. With so much turnover, with so many injuries,
Yes,
this is prime time for trades. I mean,
this is
the
it.
trade factor gets elevated because there's so many teams with needs. So great time to try to stir up some trades, in particular with this trade. So to trade T-Mac, Teteroa McMillan for Dobbins and Pearsall. I think Teteroa McMillan has gotten off to a slow start. The rookie was.
Yeah.
We all had very high hopes. I still have them, but he's as a rookie sometimes does, has not gotten off to show us anything extremely significant through these first 2 weeks. I think that if you need the running back upgrade there, if you need Dobbins on your team,
Mm-hmm.
trading T Mac away isn't the worst thing that you could do, because somehow you do have to trade something, and it looks like your wide receiver room was looking pretty good.
Yeah,
So
it's
I don't
looking
mind
really
it
good.
at all. Um, but yeah, I mean, don't get disappointed about McMillan. I think he will have a very, very good season.
Yeah.
It just might take a couple weeks before that picks up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is only week 3, and this is probably a good point in now the regular season where you're going to start seeing some of these guys heat up a bit more. The rust of preseason is over for the most part. By week 3 and week 4, these guys are now getting into like some good, like they've shaken it off. Weeks 1 and 2 is, as my brother came out here and said, which I agree with, is like preseason for starters. Now we get into week 3 and then heading into week 4, these guys are going to start lighting it up a little bit, and especially if guys are hurt, people are going to start leaning on others and all that. So yeah, I agree. I mean, I like this trade. I like this trade.
So looking at I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. So he's got on his team, he's got Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Mason, and Henderson, looking to improve the wide receiver room with Cortland Sutton, Igbuka. Okay, he's looking to add Pearsall to the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the trade. I
Yeah,
definitely
neither do I.
think that if that's something that you need to acquire on your team, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty good. I would go for it, and I think you're shoring it up. So I would definitely consider that trade. We do have another question coming in from Chris Cross 04, or Chris X Cross, or Chris Cross 04. Here we go. 12 team PPR, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex trade. I trade CMC, Ibuka, Tillman, and Johnson for Chase Brown, JSN, Jackson Smith, Digba, Tet, and Likely. Okay. I'd have Brown, Monty, Nico, BTJ, Tet, and JSN, and Kittle when healthy. If that's who he'd have if he does this trade.
Got it. Great context there. To trying to acquire Isaiah Likely while you don't have George Kittle, who's out on IR right now.
Right, he's out on IR, which that would be a good pickup.
Yeah. So all right, so we're trading away Igbuka and Christian McCaffrey
and Tillman and Johnson.
And Johnson. This is a big trade.
This is a blockbuster trade. I would love to hear from the guys in our the people in our league, if you guys are watching, if this is a trade you guys would approve. But I mean, he's getting in return Chase Brown, Jackson Smith, Tet, and Likely. I mean, I think this is a pretty good haul, though. I mean, on both sides. I mean, Tillman, I've started Tillman the last 2 weeks, and he's put up points. I mean, he's good. Ibuka, we've all been hot on him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, CMC is always like, we don't know, but I mean, he's still playing right now. So, I mean, the guy, while he's playing, is still going to bring you value. This is a blockbuster trade.
It is a big one. It is a big one. I really like, so on one end, I think CMC is one of those league winners. So as long as he's healthy, you want him on your team. Yeah, but
absolutely.
Trading him, capitalizing on that high end while he's healthy is a smart move, because he's a player who's risky, unfortunately. And if you can get someone in return who's less injury prone, maybe you feel safer having a Chase Brown on your team. I don't blame that one little bit.
Not at all.
I'm high on JSN as well.
Yeah, we were high on him last season, and this season he's looking good. I like him.
So in this trade, this, like we said, it's a big one. Which side do you like more? Which side do you lean on? Would you prefer to be acquiring CMC, Igbuka, Tillman, and Johnson, or would you prefer to have the other side?
Yeah, I mean, it's I agree with you. I mean, having CMC is great. He is a league winner, but you gotta stay healthy. And I would say if you are taking this trade, you have to get the CMC handcuff for sure. I mean, I would somehow find a way to get that, because you just know he's going to go down. I like Ibuka and I like Tillman. I mean, even though he's got Flacco passing to him, he's still putting up points.
Yeah.
Actually, Ken's weighing in on this too. Here, let's see what Ken has to say. Ken from our league, he's getting Chase Brown in a deal. Huge upside with the Burrow injury. Could see an uptick in carries and TDs. Good point, Ken.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to answer Chris's question, I definitely I like the trade. I would do the trade if you need to trade away a Buka
Yeah.
CMC to acquire those other pieces. I think it's a really good trade for your team. I think I like that side of the trade better actually.
Yeah.
I I do like CMC as a like I said as a league winner, but that risk is something that you're going to think about every week.
It's a risk, man. It really is. And at least Chase Brown. I mean, listen, running backs in this league, we all know they're always one injury away from being done for the season. But he he has a history of being very injury prone. So Chase Brown at least gives you a little bit more peace of mind. But yeah, I like this. I like this. Go for it.
Good. Yeah,
Go for it.
do it.
Hopefully your league will approve it. I don't know if you guys need all your league to approve a trade like this, or if it's just commissioner or whatever. But I think this is a good. This is a fun trade. This is the kind of stuff I want to see happen in our group, in our
Yeah,
league.
those big ones are fun. Yeah.
I want to see a blockbuster trade happening. So, all right. Well, very cool. Hey, thanks again for the questions, guys. If you have any more questions, feel free to pop them in, and we will get to them as we go. Once again, if you want to listen to the show, maybe you can't watch it here on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You can also listen to us on RadioGardenState.com, which is also available on the Odyssey app, TuneIn app, Radio.net, and on any Alexa device. So let's move in. We were talking about injuries, and we started talking about the sleepers for a little bit, because I would just want to bring up some names here and see what you think. We did talk about Marcus Mariota at the top. Keyshawn Bout, wide receiver of the Patriots. What do you think about him as a sleeper hit?
So I like the kid. I think he was a rookie last year. I'm drawing a blank right now, but he seems to have Drake May's attention. I think that after a first few weeks, what we've seen from Stephon Diggs isn't something that I would feel like he's the guy and that we don't need to worry about anyone else. I think there's plenty of room on that offense to roster other wide receivers. And I think this wide receiver, I'm not sure, I'm going to mispronounce his name as well. If it's Boutte, Bout,
Yeah, I don't know if
not
it's
sure.
Boot.
But he's an interesting wide receiver to have. I definitely would take a chance on him if you're in a pinch, if you need, if you're out some of your other players on your roster. Most certainly worth a start as a flex or even in your wide receiver spot.
All right, yeah. I mean, his name's been coming up quite a bit. So, I've heard a lot of other fantasy shows, talking about him, and wanted to get your take on him.
No, absolutely, definitely a good guy to keep your eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, here's a name that we've talked about in the past, and after seeing, Ken's coming and saying it's Boutte.
Boutte.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale
seems to be the apple in Russell Wilson's eye. Not to take anything away from from I'm blanking out because I'm staring at too many different things at once.
Malik.
But thank you. I'm staring at too many different screens right now. Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson. What do you think? Is he somebody you should be making a trade for? I mean, he's probably not available on any waiver wires, I would think, but
more than likely owned. He's owned in our leagues for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely had a lot of targets. He's definitely getting some attention. Of course, Malik Neighbors is the big reference on the team. So obviously there will be room for other players to run around and get a few targets, get many receptions as well. And I think, Wan'Dale he's an experienced guy. So I think he's a good start. I like him more with Russell Wilson on the field. I don't know how long that would last.
Right.
If we see a quarterback change, I think that Wan'Dale's fantasy output would probably take a hit. So just keep an eye on that. If we see Jackson Dart step into the field, I think that's probably going to take him and Wan'Dale some time. But who knows? Still a guy I would definitely be wanting to include into my starting lineup if I was in the need of a wide receiver change.
All right. Here's another name coming up too. Bashal Tutin, running back for the Jaguars, rookie. Getting a little bit of seems like he's getting a little bit of heat. Had a touchdown in week 2.
Yeah, he's the backup for Travis Etienne. They traded away Tank Bigsby,
Yep,
so
Tank is no
now
longer on the team.
yeah. This rookie running back Bayshaw has tremendous upside, if you ask me. I think that Travis Etienne has had a good season so far, and I'm really happy to see that. I'm sure we all are.
Yeah.
But let's keep in mind that they drafted a rookie while they already had Bigsby on the team. So, how much confidence does this organization have in ETN? What were they concerned about? Will ETN be able to keep it up all season? We're not entirely sure. So, I do think there's a high likelihood that even with ETN on the field, Tootin will be very, very involved. And should ETN go out for any reason, Bashal Tootin will get a big, big boost. Certainly a guy that does not belong in free agency or on the waiver wire. Tootin should be rostered. And if you need to start him, he's actually startable now, even with
Right.
ETN on the field.
All right. So two more names here for you, and we'll move on. Dontavian Wicks, wide receiver for the Packers.
Dontavian Wicks. So he's a guy who's had some success in the past and intermittently here and there. Now with Jordan Reed not able to play, he had a shoulder
Yeah,
injury. He's I believe he's been ruled out already for this week 3.
he is
I
ruled out.
I do like Wicks. He's getting some attention from Jordan Love. I do like him as a spot start if you need if you're in a pinch at wide receiver for sure.
All right, great. And last name here, Cade Otton. He looked good Monday night.
Cade Otton. So we're talking about the tight end for
Tight end.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is a hot team. I think Tampa Bay is definitely they have a good quarterback. They have a quarterback who's on fire. He's got good rhythm. They also added a rookie wide receiver to an already very well established wide receiver room. I mean, Godwin is not on the field at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
so there's definitely room for many receivers on the team, including Otton as a receiving option. If you're in a position where you need to backfill one of your elite tight ends like George Kittle, Otton would be definitely a viable substitute. The tight end landscape is a little rough sometimes.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't get one of those elite guys and you're scrambling and you're looking at Otton or, for example, one tight end that I saw in our league, in our LOEMP league, which I can't believe where we are today, 2025, we have Mark Andrews as a free agent and nobody
I
wants
know.
him.
Can you believe
Kicked
that?
hurt. Yeah, and he's out. He's only had one target in each of the previous games,
Yeah.
so he's probably there for good reason. And if it were me and I needed a tight end, I think I would go Otton over Mark Andrews, just to give an example.
Yeah, no, it's a great example, absolutely. So, all right, so let's keep this going. We are once again we are on the air till 11 a.m. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through few more of some things that we feel like some must adds here, and we'll talk about defense, and then we're going to move into our picks for our League of Extraordinarily Mediocre People League, where we go through our pick'ems LOEMP League and determine who's going to win and lose each matchup in the LOEMP League. So, all right, so quick run of this, and let me know if there's anybody else that comes to your mind here, Pablo, as we go through this list. So, must adds for week 3. So, if these are guys that are sitting on your bench or you're not sure, or potential trade targets, which could be a must add, here's some guys that you should add. Indiana Jones, Daniel Indiana Jones. I can't believe we're talking about him, but he is coming up in the must add conversation. Is he a must add? Is he somebody that if he's on your team and he's on your bench, are you starting him? If he's available to be picked up on a trade, would you trade for Daniel Jones? Your thoughts, Pablo?
I would definitely want him on my team. Whether and let me say this, I would want him on my team whether it were a single quarterback league or a super flex league.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a super flex league. But even in a single quarterback league, unless you've got a Josh Allen who you're not. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. You're going to leave
Right.
that type of quarterback in your lineup week in and week out. If you don't have one of those elite guys that you can set and forget, then Daniel Jones has brought a lot of upside these first 2 weeks, and he's definitely a
It's
guy
unbelievable.
that, yeah, in the right matchup, you get excited to start. I would start Daniel Jones over several other quarterbacks, especially with so much injury at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Uh, Most certainly a guy I want on my roster, and with high chance of me putting him in my starting lineup often.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, guys, if you are in need of a quarterback and someone's got a Daniel Jones on their team and maybe they're just sitting on a bench, could be a good time to go and make a trade.
Yeah, yeah, you traded for him early in the season, prior to week one.
I
That was
did prior,
one of
like
the best
preseason.
moves. Yeah, nobody knew what was going to happen, and you traded for him and got him on
Yeah.
your team. And now look,
Yeah. And right now he is on my bench because I have Jared Goff and I have Matthew Stafford. So, and both been playing pretty well. So, you know, but,
but
but maybe depending on the matchup, I may be throwing Daniel Jones in.
and think about this. A lot of times fantasy is like the stock market. You bought
Right.
Daniel Jones when his price was low because the season hadn't yet started. It was right after
Right.
the draft, right before week one. You traded away X value to acquire Daniel Jones. Now you can trade Daniel Jones away for a lot more
Right.
than you gave up to acquire him. So
Yeah.
even if you don't keep Daniel Jones, you're still improving your team. And in return, you're going to get a much better fantasy weapon
Right.
than what you had to trade away. So it's still an excellent player to have on your team, whether you need to start him or not.
Right. Exactly. Very well said. All right. A couple of other names here. We talked about him last week. We brought up his name as a sleeper pick. But Alec Aminor, I think that's how we say it. Wide receiver of the Titans. He's a rookie, and Titans have been going very pass heavy, and he has some really good explosive play potential. Seems like somebody that's a must add on your team for sure. I mean, he seems like somebody that even if you're making a trade would be a good guy to throw into bring in a bundle.
Absolutely boosts up the value of any trade, if especially in a bundle, like you said. But yeah, we talked about him on the touchdown talk last week. He's a guy who's getting Ken Ward's attention. Last week he had a great game, still averaging about 6 to 7 targets per game. But last week he got into the end zone, and I think that going forward, this is a team that's going to be struggling. They've lost both games. Game script game script will probably be not in their favor often. So they're going to
Mhm.
need to throw the ball. And it's not likely that they're going to double cover Io Manor. They're more than likely, defenses are more than likely going to be looking at Ridley. So I think this rookie wide receiver has a tremendous, tremendous upside and should be a player that we should all be trying to take off the waiver wire or make trades for.
There you go. There you go. In the words of Pablo himself, right there for you. Real quick before we dive back in, just want to remind everybody to make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube and the little bell so that way you get notified when we go live, which is every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and also RadioGardenState.com, which we urge you to all go over and listen to if you are on the radio, RadioGardenState.com, Odyssey app, TuneIn app, and all your Alexa devices. So do that for us, please. All right. And continuing on with some starts here. Troy Franklin, wide receiver from the Broncos. Definitely looking like he's the lead, the number one receiver there in Denver. He's looking
Yeah,
like Bo Nix's favorite.
he's had great success. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Looking like Bo Nix's favorite, to our surprise, right? Because I mean, Cortland Sutton was the big
Yeah.
reference. That's who we
Yeah.
all
And
thought.
he's looking like, that's a guy I would bench this week if
Yeah,
you got him.
even preseason, Troy Flankin's he's been on the Broncos for more than a year now, and with the addition of Evan Ingram, I did not think that Franklin was going to evolve into the important player that he is today for this team. He's got into the end zone last week, caught 8 passes for 89 yards, and his arrow is pointing up. Definitely one of Bo Nix's favorite targets. You certainly would be benefiting from having him on your team if you can acquire him via a trade. highly recommendable to do so. This is a strong offense too. Their season looks very, very promising. So it's highly likely that Troy Franklin will have a very, very good fantasy output during several weeks this year. So yeah, we should all try to benefit from having him on our team if we can.
All right, and there you go. So another name here, last name we'll throw in here into the mix. Rome Indunza. Wide receiver for the Bears. Is this a
I'm
guy
excited
that
about
you
this
would
one.
is this a guy you would start this week?
So
They're
I
playing
definitely
Dallas,
would.
right? Yeah, they're playing Dallas
Yeah,
this week. Yeah, and as we can see, Dallas's defense isn't that great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They can be had. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm excited. This is another guy that surprised me. He was a rookie last year, Roma Dunze. He didn't really perform too greatly. He also had a rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. He struggled a bit in his rookie season, the quarterback. This year, their connection seems to be so much stronger, and I do believe that Roma Dunze will be able to keep this up. It's it wasn't expected. He's been averaging a lot of targets, 9 targets first game, 11 targets the second game. He will more than likely continue to be a high contributor, and he has several favorable matchups coming up. Like you said, he's playing Dallas at home. The following week, he plays against the Vegas Raiders, who are also a team whose defense will likely not be too difficult for
right.
Odunze to continue that stretch. So certainly a player that if you have the opportunity to acquire, we should go after. And if you have him on your team, light him up, man. Throw him in your starting lineup because he's very likely going to do well.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. All right, we're just gonna go through defenses real quick. Fast takes on this. Start in defense. Well, we'll go through a few of them here real quick. So starting Green Bay defense, if you got them, they're playing the Browns. Are we starting Green Bay defense?
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, we had
Yep,
a
I hear you. Yep,
blip
no, it's
there.
all good. Internet connection.
Yeah,
Just to reiterate, Green Bay defense versus the Browns. You starting them?
for sure. Yeah, Green Bay. I mean, let's just take a step back and look at Green Bay's progress in the preseason. They added Micah Parsons right there, hugely improved defense. They were already a good defense, and now they got improved even more. I would most certainly be looking to have Green Bay as my starting defense. It's one of those defenses that I typically prefer to try to play matchup with defenses. Don't stick with a
Right.
defense all season long. But Green Bay is one of those rare exceptions that if you do have them, they're hard to let go because they're really somebody else will pick them up right away.
Yeah.
So definitely a team that I would stick with on defense for sure.
All right, quick question coming in from Twitch over here from Broly619. Start one. Kyron Williams, Jordan Mason, or ETN? Which one are you starting?
All right, I want to take a quick peek back at Kyron's matchup, but right out of the gate, I think just and it's maybe biased because I've been looking at Jordan Mason so much since
I
he's now going
know.
to be the starter. Right out of the
Yeah.
gate, I think Mason is my pick, but I just want to
Yeah,
go back
Kyron
and look
Williams
at
going into Tennessee, playing Tennessee this week.
um
Oh no, sorry. No,
that was
sorry.
last week.
I got that wrong. That was last week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm going Mason. He's playing in Philly, so I mean Kyron's playing in Philly,
Yeah, yeah,
so
thank you.
I think I would go Mason. I would take the chance on Mason.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mason too, man. He's been a little hot. I think I'll go Mason on this one too. I mean, I was actually my first thought was like ETN, but I think I'd go Mason.
And ETN, you know what? You might be onto something there. ETN's not the flashiest name because of the
Right.
season he had last year was a little bit of a, he was not on his way up. So, I think this year many of us expected more of the same, and it's been the opposite.
It
So
has
it's
been so
maybe
far.
maybe some of us are being a little unfair there with ETN. He has been producing very, very well. So whoever would choose to start ETN in this case, yeah, I can't blame you. He's definitely been the player who's produced the most out of these three so far.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that would my initial gut was ETN, but I do like Jordan Mason. I would probably be going back and forth with that right up to game time, flopping back and forth on that.
Yeah.
All right, couple more defensive starts, and then we're gonna go into our picks. Tampa Bay versus the Jets. Tampa Bay D.
Tampa Bay D.
I think I would go. I would definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely pick up the Tampa Bay D going into Jets.
100%. 100%. They're playing at home, and they're playing against Tyrod Taylor's offense, who is gonna need to adjust. I'm sure they practice a lot with Taylor here and there, but that's not what they were planning. So I definitely think that that matchup for Tampa Bay is very, very juicy.
All right, two more here, and then we'll move on. Kansas City at the Giants. Are you going to start the KC defense at the Giants?
So I definitely want to hear your opinion here on this one, but I'll tell you, I think I'm a changed man. I definitely was targeting the Giants offense as one of those teams that you wanted to start your defense against.
Right.
And last week they proved me wrong. And Kansas City their defense hasn't been that for fantasy production. They haven't been that stout defense that they haven't been in the past. So I don't think they can bully their way over the Giants. I
actually would not start the Kansas City defense this week over the Giants. I think you should be. I mean, after last week's performance, I'd be a little scared of the Giants. Both teams are looking for a win here. Neither team wants to go 0-3 here, so I expect a very aggressive game.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't start either defense. Let me put it that way. I don't think the Kansas City defense is a good start this week.
All right, last one. Seattle Seahawks versus the Saints. I do have Seattle's defense. I did start them versus the Saints. I think that that's me. I did it. I'm going to stick with it. But what is your take?
Same. Yeah. Seattle against Spencer Rattler and his offense, 100% would start Seattle's defense.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up before we go on to our picks, my friend?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, we covered a lot of injury. There's a lot of change, a lot of turnover. As we go through different lineups, we're going to see more and more players. Maybe somebody will left out. But no, I think we're doing great.
All right, here we go.
Questions, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate everybody chiming in and asking as we go along here. All right. Before we go into our picks, just want to remind everybody to visit our ticketing partner, official ticketing partner here of the Touchdown Talk and Radio Garden State. Get tickets for games over at savvyseats.com, SAVVY seats.com. And when you do, pick a game, pick a concert, Broadway show, wherever, use code RGS10 for $10 off your order. They've got great tailgate packages. So, hey, maybe you're heading out to the Kansas City Giants game tomorrow night at MetLife under the big lights, prime time. Well, man, they have got a tailgate package that is awesome. Private VIP tent, the whole deal. And they do it all over by American Dream. If you want tickets for that tailgate package or any tailgate package, Giants Jets game, head over once again to savvyseats.com, SAVVY seats.com, and use code RGS10 for $10 off your order. All right, Pablo, it's that time. Time for us to start making our picks.
Let's do it.
In the one league that we're in, and unfortunately we can't do both leagues live today because I do have to get off. I do got to get off by 11, but we're going to at least get through one of these today. So we're going to go League of Extraordinarily Mediocre People. Pablo, for those first-time listeners, can you let everybody know about our league settings?
Absolutely. All right, so our LOEMP League of Extraordinarily Mediocre People, is a 12-team Superflex league, full PPR. And it's also a keeper league. So we've all selected our keepers from the 2024 season. And we start 3 wideouts, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and a flex, in addition to that quarterback start and super flex spot.
There you go. Thank you, sir. And currently, if we look at our standings, we have 3 teams at 2-0. That's our top 3. Team Keg sitting at number 1, Suck My Dicka at number 2. Manja Magic sitting at number 3. Goff My Law and my team sitting at 4 at 1-1. And Keith's cool team also at 1-1. Super Lamario Brothers, our league champ from last year, sitting in the 6th spot, which is a spot that he was at last year, and then rose in and won the championship. 1-1, won the whole league. Rudy McRudin faced at 1-1. Bark at the Moon, your team, my friend, sitting at 8 at 1-1. A lot of 1-1 teams. CD's Nuts at 1-1. Go Suck a Dak at 0-2. Scataboom at 0-2. And Swift Kick in the Pits 0-2. So we have 3 teams here that are winless looking to break that streak. So is this going to be the week that they do it, Pablo? Well, I guess we're going to find out, won't we?
Well, let's see. Let's see. I'm sure every team wants to get their first win, just like the Chiefs and the Giants tomorrow. So good luck to all those teams. We have 3 undefeated teams, like you said. Yep. And your team, Golf My Lawn, leading the league in points. Let me point that out. You did take a loss in week 1, but you're the highest scorer of the season so far.
Yeah, last week, man, I had put up big points, and that was like I was projected to lose, and I wound up putting up giant points. So I was very happy about that. Very happy about that.
Yeah, it was a big weekend.
So our Yahoo Game of the Week, the Yahoo Fantasy Game of the Week, is the game that Yahoo Fantasy picks in anybody's league. They're saying this week's Game of the Week is Super Lamario Brothers versus Suck My Dicka.
That is the game of the week.
The game of the week. So 1-1 versus Tina's team 2-0. So let's dive into that and let's see what the lineups are. And guys, we're gonna move this along here. Click the wrong game here. There we go. Right here at the bottom. All right. Super Lamario Brothers projected right now 156 over Tina's team at 135. Looking at now, Tina is one of the owners. She had Justin Fields, I believe.
Yes, and Jaden Daniels.
And Jaden Daniels
out this week. 2
of her starting quarterbacks both out. So she has, she has Tyrod Taylor in there, but going up against Lamar Jackson. Oof. That is, that right there could spell the difference between winning this week or not. And we didn't even go through the wide receivers and the running back options here, which, by the way, are not bad on either team. I mean, we look at this: Mike Evans, Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Romain Dunza, which we talked about, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Derrick Henry, Omarion Hampton, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco, Sam Laporta, Chig. I mean, we know Tina likes to roll with the double tight end option, so of course she's doing that. And Tucker Kraft, questionable. He's still questionable with a knee. But he didn't practice this week.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
She may have to make another move there. So just Tina, you may want to keep an eye on that. And first trade. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Our first trade. That was our first trade of the season, by the way. Ken's pointing out.
Yes. Yeah. Ken was involved in that trade. Tina went out to acquire Tyrod Taylor, who was stepping in for Justin Fields, who she had on her team and was now not going to be able to play. So let's just go over that trade real quick. The trade involved she acquired Tyrod Taylor and I forget right now.
Yeah, so Tyrod and Pacheco for Scattaboo.
Isaiah Pacheco. Yes.
Pacheco for Scattaboo. Scattaboo.
Yep. So the trade essentially was Scattaboo for Pacheco. She traded away Scattaboo, but that trade included Tyrod to be added to her team, which she needed this week very, very much. So I think it's a great trade for both teams, actually. Very, very good trade. And, Tina's, in this case, these injuries have taken a big, big toll on her projection. She's still an undefeated team. However, she's got a tough challenge this week going against a strong Super Lamario Brothers team.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think she's going to struggle. And obviously, too, if Tucker Kraft doesn't go, she has Theo Johnson, who actually could be a really good pickup. I would probably put him in this week over Mason Taylor for
it's
sure.
It's a super flex spot, actually. So she could technically put anyone she wants in there.
Right. But, it's true. But, she doesn't have many options, right? She does have Dami Brown, who's also an interesting option there. But I might even start Theo Johnson, man, because Giants are using him a little bit more in the mix. I don't know. I know she likes her tight end, so if she wants to stay with tight ends. But anyway, who is your pick to go? Who's to win this matchup?
So I think it's a tough one for Ditka. I'm going to go with Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I want to. I always love the underdog here. I just feel like the firepower on Super Lamar Brothers' side might be too much for Tina to overcome, especially with some of these injuries. So I am gonna go with the data and go with Super Mario Brothers as well on this one. So
Very good.
if we're looking at this, if you're following along on our screen, we're just gonna work our way from the bottom up. So next up, Grudy McBrooding face 1-0. Also playing one of our undefeated teams, Manja Magic Viv at 2-0, sitting in the third spot. Quarterbacks right away: Patrick Mahomes versus Jordan Love, Puka Nakua, Marvin Harrison, JSN, Brian Thomas, Jerry Jeudy, Jawan Jennings, marked as questionable, by the way, James Conner going up against Saquon, and then Jalen Warren and CMC. Some of our bright spots here. And in our super flex spot, Breece Hall against Kyler Murray.
Yeah, yeah. We were talking about Josh's team earlier. He's lost Brock Purdy, so now throwing in Breece Hall. Also lost Aaron Jones this week, went on IR.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the lucky owner of Jakery Croskett Merritt, aka Bill, the
Bill.
RB1 for the Washington Commanders. He had Bill, obviously a Washington Commanders fan. He was banking on maybe some potential upside down the road this season. Had some unexpected injury for Eckler, make that happen sooner than later, and now has one of those running backs that are on the rise that many teams want. I, for one, would love to have Bill on my team.
Me
But yeah,
too.
Josh has Bill in his flex spot, also starting, like you mentioned, Breece Hall in his super flex. What's going to be your pick here? Which side do you think comes
So
out with a win?
Viv Manja Magic is favored in this, and I can see why. She definitely has some big playmakers. I mean, having Saquon and CMC on the same team is pretty impressive. I think Jordan Love's been really good, and he's going into Cleveland, so he may rack it up there. I think that the projections for Patrick Mahomes are a little high, honestly, but I guess we'll see. I think if I have to go with this one, even though Viv is projected, though, I feel like Grudy McGrudenface is going to win this one. I'm going to go with Grudy.
You're going to go with Grudy, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Grudy. Sorry, Viv, but I feel like it's going to be a pretty close matchup. I like both sides, but I feel like Grudy's going to pull this one out.
Very good, very good. She's got some options there in case Jawan Jennings goes out. She's got Shaheed on her bench. She also has Franklin and Iomana that we were talking about earlier. So I think I'll go with Manja Magic as my pick for this one. Projected to win so far. Let's see what happens.
All right. Excellent. Very good. That's the picks in. Manja Magic for you and Grudy for me. All right. Go suck a Dak 0-2 versus Team Keg, our league leader right now, who's sitting at 2-0, undefeated. Right now, projections are in Go Suck a Dak's favor, 154 to 140. Starting QBs, Dak Prescott versus Baker Mayfield. And then as we go down, Justin Jefferson versus Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Keon Coleman, who did not have a very good night, Trayvon Henderson, Jamar Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Cade Otton, as we were talking about before, going up against Travis Kelce there, Stephon Diggs, Javonte Williams, Drake May. We talked a little bit about Drake May before. Josh Jacobs starting in it. So we got Drake May and Josh Jacobs in the Superflex spots, and then Baltimore, New England D's. All right. Quick assessment here. Go Suck a Dak could be in a good striking distance to give the league leader a loss this week when I go down this. I mean, he does have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill went already on Team Keg. Got some points there. Keon Coleman not doing too well, though. Hurt. But he still has some big playmakers here. But I don't know, man. I am actually feeling like Willie's going to Go Suck a Dak is going to get a win this week. That's my initial thought on this. But, Pablo, what do you think?
So one thing I want to point out, what I see here is the league leader right here, Team Keg. He's starting Josh Jacobs in his super flex spot. and he has Sam Darnold on his bench playing at home
Yeah.
against New Orleans, projected for a little more than Josh Jacobs. So I don't know for sure if this is what he intends to keep or if he just hasn't gotten a chance
He may
to
not have
update
gotten a
that.
chance to it yet. So that could
Well,
change a lot.
we'll see. So yeah, I did want to point that out. I mean, in the projection, it wouldn't change things too much, but I think adding Sam Darnold, who's probably going to be having a nice game at home on Sunday, would benefit him. I don't necessarily think I would take Josh Jacobs out. So maybe he does want to keep, all his running backs in there. He's got Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Javonte Williams. So it's hard to take one out. Maybe that is intentional. So we'll see how that
Mm.
goes. But I'm gonna stick with the league leader for this one. My pick will be Team Keg, even though it's projected to lose right now.
All right. So you're going to go with Team Keg, and I am going to go with Go Suck a Dak to get his first win this week. All right. Moving right along. Bark at the Moon. Your team, my friend, sitting at 1-1 versus another 1-1 team, Matt's team, CD's Nuts. So looking at this, you are projected by a slim margin here, 153.69 to 152.31, and I think these you guys are so even on both sides. We got Jalen Hurts going up against C.J. Stroud, Debo, Lad McConkey, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Chase Brown, Bijan Robinson, Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb, Jawan Johnson, Brock Bowers, David Montgomery, and Jalen Waddle, who got some points for CD's Nuts already. And then in Superflex spot, you, my friend, Jake Browning versus Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Acquired Browning off the waiver wire. It worked out really well for me. I already had Higgins and Chase Brown, so I got a double stack there with Browning now, and it's going to be challenging. It's going to be very, very
Yeah,
interesting. It's a super close matchup. I'm actually
it really is.
really nervous about this matchup because Dunn's team here, see these nuts, has really strong players,
I mean,
and
Bijan going into Carolina, man, that's a potential for a big day.
yeah. Nick Chubb had a great game last week. He's probably looking to build upon that as well. This week, going into Jacksonville, can very, very well do so. So I think maybe the weak spot on his team is Rattler going up into Seattle. But
Yeah,
aside from that, his team looks good and is making me quite nervous. I'm clearly going to pick my team, but it's definitely one that I'm very, very unsure about. I would for sure put it at 50-50. So I think the projection
yeah.
is spot on.
All right, very good. One quick thing I do want to look at. Not that I want to give Dunn any advice because he's playing you, but I am interested. Starting Detroit defense over at Baltimore. It's an interesting choice there.
Yeah, that's a
That's
tough
an
one.
interesting choice. Would you start Detroit's defense over at Baltimore
I want to say that it's
for your team?
not necessarily likely that's the
Yeah,
move that I would make, but I mean, who knows? I mean,
yeah,
Detroit hasn't been terrible, but their defense is not their strong point.
mm,
I mean, clearly they have a very, very strong offense, and they're going up against a very, very strong offense.
right.
So I would likely be looking at options, alternatives there.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Quick question here from Potato Juice 0001. Kenneth Walker or Chase Brown?
Ooh,
I
nice.
think I would go with Chase Brown. I mean, I'm a Kenneth Walker owner, but if I had
Okay.
both of them, I think I would go Chase Brown over Kenneth Walker. I think
That's a
Kenneth Walker's going to
wonderful,
have a little bit of a tough matchup this week.
wonderful question. Wonderful question. I like it a lot because I'm a Chase Brown owner. We were just looking at it. He's in my
Yeah.
lineup right now,
Yeah, he's
and
in
I
your
think
lineup.
I think I might go with Walker if I had the choice.
Interesting. I mean, I have Walker and I'm a little, I mean it's a matchup this week, man. Actually I may have him in the other league now I think about it. I got him in the other not this league. I have him in the dirt. But I
Walker's
think if
playing
I
at
had
home.
Brown or Walker, I think I would start Brown.
Yeah, Walker's
I don't know,
playing
it's
at
just my
home
gut.
against New Orleans. I think.
Yeah.
I like Walker for that one.
All right, well there you go. Hopefully that helps. we're a
Yeah.
little split on it, so but you do bring that up. I mean that could be a deciding factor there. I mean his home and he's against, the Saints, so
Both good options, though. I highly, I mean, what you must have a super strong team if you have to leave one of those two guys on your bench.
Yeah, for
Start them
real.
both if you can. Yeah.
Yeah, even better. Start them both. Start them both. Follow up. I would normally go Brown, but with Charbonnet doubtful, I was leaning Charbonnet.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I would definitely go
Yeah.
go Walker for that one.
All right, one more question here before we move on. Oh, K9, sorry. Yeah, that's what we thought you meant. No problem, buddy. Kyler Siebert Audio. What are your thoughts on AJ Brown and Xavier Worthy? So our quick thoughts on that. I think AJ Brown's been a little bit of a fantasy disappointment, I think, so far.
Yeah, and so has Worthy. Like
So is Worthy.
This question, unfortunately, is difficult to answer because I think they're both been disappointing. I would love to not start either of them.
Yeah. If you have other options, I would start other options. But
if you had to start one in a pinch, which side would you go with, Chris?
I would probably go. Thinking a pinch, I'd probably go Worthy.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seems like AJ Brown and it's just not. They're just not using him. He's just not in the mix. I mean, I don't know. He's not getting targeted. It just isn't. I don't know. Something's going on there.
Something's off in Philly right now. But I would probably just bank on the vet and go AJ Brown. But it's not pretty. Not pretty.
Yeah, it's not pretty. All right. Keeping it moving here. We didn't pick on our picks. I'm gonna pick you this week, my friend. That's my official. I'm gonna go Bark at the Moon for that matchup, by the way.
Let's go.
Versus CD's nuts. And I imagine you'll be picking yourself.
Absolutely, yes. My pick is Bark at the Moon.
All right, moving on to our second and last matchup here. Swift kick in the pits versus Scotta Boom. Can rename this team. 2 0-2 teams, both desperate, both looking for a win. 12-1, 12th spot and 11th spot. Right away, Bo Nix versus Bryce Young, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, McMillan, Ridley, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall. We did talk about Cortland Sutton. There's a guy that you might want to sit, and we just talked about too, Kenneth Walker, Achane, who had pretty decent game, 16 points there. Jordan Mason going to against Cam Scatterboo, Pitts going up in Tyler Warren in the tight end spot. Ashton Genty running back going into flex. Ibuka, Carson Wentz, and Russell Wilson going into super flex. Swift kick in the pits is projected at 164 to Scatterboom at 152. Thoughts, Pablo? What are you feeling right away?
It's a close one, and it's a super, super important matchup because both teams have not gotten a win yet. One of them will be 0-3, and that's not where you want to be after the first 3 weeks of your fantasy season. So it's a very, very important matchup. I think that I think I like Kevin's team a little bit more. I'm looking at Carson Wentz. He's leaving Cam Ward on the bench. I know Cam Ward has not been an exciting start so far, and he does have a little bit of a difficult matchup. But I think Ward's going to turn it on one of these days. It might not be this week, so maybe Wentz is the better play. But I think I would pick a Swift kick in the pits for the win this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling like that too. Note that Marcus Mariota is on the bench for Scatterboom, but he's going to choose to start Bryce Young there going in Atlanta. And of course, Russell Wilson, I think, versus KC is a good, because I mean, that was something too. Ken had benched Russell Wilson last week, and then of course he put up huge points. He had a monster game. So he's hoping for the same thing this week. So I mean, if that happens, I think he's going to have a really good shot of beating Kev, but we have to see what version of Russell Wilson is showing up. We will find out. So I think I am also going to pick Swift kick in the pits as well.
Okay. I'm not tremendously optimistic to chase Russell Wilson's fantasy production. He's playing against Kansas City's defense in prime time. I don't know. I don't have the best feeling about that for Russell Wilson.
I mean, I do like Cam Scatterboo, and I feel like he's just every week you see him getting in the mix more and more. So I love that he picked him up. That was a great trade, and I think that's going to pay off down the line for sure. And I we'll see as the season goes on, but they're definitely using him more in the mix, and you got to love that kid. So, All right, moving on to our final game pick of the week. Here we go. Golf My Lawn, my team, sitting in fourth spot at 1-1 versus Keith's Cool team, who's sitting at 1-1 as well in the fifth spot. Projections are very close here. I'm at 154.56 to his 159.63. Josh Allen had a nice night. He had Josh Allen. I have Jared Goff. He put up 32.52 points on me already. So he's off to a big start. Of course, let's go down Jamar Chase versus A.J. Brown. We just talked about that too, A.J. Brown. George Pickens, who I've been starting, reluctantly, but starting him against DK Metcalf. Cedric Tillman against Zay Flowers. James Cook, who had a nice night for me, 108
Definitely
rushing
had a good
yards.
night.
So I had 20 points there. Kyron Williams, Chuba Hubbard, Travis Etienne, who we've talked about many times today. Starting Brenton Strange in tight end. David Ngoku at tight end there. Chris Olave, who I'm not quite sure yet. I may make a swap out there versus Terry McLaurin, and Matt Stafford in my superflex versus Justin Herbert on his superflex. Quick, what do you think here, buddy?
So both teams are looking great, actually. High projection, great firepower on both sides. James Cook getting in the end zone again every week. He's been every week getting touchdowns.
Yep.
So that's one of the early fantasy studs. Great draft pick. He's proving to be. And I think on the other end though, Keith's Cool team has a lot of firepower as well.
It really does.
Great starting options. Great starting options. This is a tough one to choose in terms of picks to see which of the two teams will win. It will be close. I'm going to go.
And real quick, more than likely, I'm going to swap out Chris Olave with Drake London. Just
okay. All right. Good call, Drake London on your bench. That's actually a big upgrade in my opinion. Definitely like London.
Yeah.
Better.
No, me too. Me too. The reason why I don't think I started him last week is I thought he was questionable anyway, but he's going in this week.
So that'll change your projection. It'll make it like more of an even split there, 50-50. I still think I'm going to choose Keith's team for the win. I think I have two concerns on your side. I'm looking at Goff going into Baltimore.
Yes, I know.
He's going to need to throw the ball, and he can. So I'm not saying it won't happen, but it has to happen, or he's not.
It has to happen.
Game. Right, it has to happen. And Chase, Jamar Chase. I'm not. I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. I'd love to see that happen, but
of course, you as a
yeah.
But as a Browning owner, you'd love to see that connection happen.
Of course. But that's where another area where I'm not entirely sure that it will. So I think the pick will go for Keith for me.
All right, very good. And of course, I will be picking my own team, Golf My Lawn. So. All right, guys. Well, hey, that wraps it up for our picks for the League of Extraordinarily Mediocre People. Just to run it down really quick once again on our picks for this, so that way, in case you're following along at home and you actually care about what how our league is doing. Super Lamario Brothers versus Sucka My Dicka, which is the Yahoo Game of the Week. We are both going with Super Lamario Brothers in that pick. Rudy McRudenface versus Manja Magic. I have gone. Actually, we both went. No, sorry. I went with Grudy McGrudenface, and Pablo went with Manja Magic. Smart man. Go suck a Dak versus Team Keg. I went with Go Suck a Dak, and Pablo went with Team Keg on that one. Bark at the Moon versus CDs. That's both of us have gone with Bark at the Moon. Swift Kick in the Pits versus Scotta Boom. We have both gone with Swift Kick in the Pits, and in Golf My Lawn versus Keith's Cool team, Pablo has gone with Keith's Cool team, and I, of course, have picked my own team, Golf My Lawn. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, that does it for us. Another edition, week 3 of the Touchdown Talk. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to everybody over on Radio Garden State. Make sure you keep it tuned to Radio Garden State all day long. Lots of great music and shows to keep you going. And of course, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified, and feel free to share this show with a friend who loves talking about fantasy football. Pablo, my buddy, my master at arms, my partner in crime here. Any final words, my friend, for the fantasy fearless out there?
Well, good luck everybody on your teams. This is going to be an exciting week 3, and may the best fantasy football managers win. Super excited and looking forward to this weekend. For our Dirt League fans out there, we'll not be able to make those picks on the show today, but we'll try to wrap up a little video and throw it out there on our social medias a little bit later.
Yep, absolutely. We'll have that for you guys. So appreciate everybody watching and listening. And just a quick note, we will not see you next week. Next week, we will be off the Touchdown Talk, so we won't be live, but we'll be back for week 5 action for sure. So sorry, we won't be with you for week 4, but we'll be with you for week 5. But for our social media accounts, because maybe we'll post quick pick'ems as we can. We can just get them up there for everybody.
Yep, please do. We'll welcome all questions. We'll try to answer as many as we can.
Yep. Follow us over on Instagram at the Touchdown Talk and also on Facebook as well. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Get those trades in. Let's go. Week 3. Make it happen. You can do it. You can do it. We believe in you. All right. See ya.